Hello, beautiful people. So we have a fun deck over here. We have a Jinzo Manticore deck. Oh, is it just that? No, actually, the other fun fact is it is also a Braver Dragon deck. So, is this anything you've ever heard of? Of course not. This is just a fun, weird, wild, casual deck I thought of. And yeah, without further ado, let's dive into it. I'll leave those later, for the level 6 engine. Also, before that, just admire, I don't know, something about the old school gold Jinzo. I just love how it looks. But yeah, let's start off with the lower level monsters. So again, this is like bringing together old school and new school for having fun. So we do have a Benkai. We do have 3 Maha. So yeah, when you see those, obviously you're going to think of, equip cards, because that is the whole focus of the Braver Dragon. But yeah, so this kind of does almost feel like, early stages Duel Links. And then 3 Beige of Dark World. Just because we do have some discard opportunities, so it doesn't hurt for, trying to draw more. A Summoner Monk, just because, in case, we don't have for any discard, let's not make it dead, try to have something. Even though, obviously, Summoner Monk is very outdated, not the fastest for modern Yu-Gi-Oh! But, again, this is more of like a fun, casual deck to, just bring together different, more old school cards and new school to have fun with them. So, Fabled, Miss Toji. So, it would be more helpful if there was more Fabled in here. But I felt like it wasn't that useful just because, I don't really need to make more things a tuner for it. At least with Kushano, I could use his effect possibly, with dumping him. So, it doesn't hurt. There's, some recursion with that. Then G-Nex Ally Birdman. He would be, he is good for this, obviously modern days, outdated, but would be so much better if it wasn't just a face-up monster, but like any face-up card, because that would be just so broken with, all the face-up, equip cards, just, to keep reusing him. And then 1 Ghost Ogre, just because, obviously Ghost Ogre is good, but also a light level 3 tuner, so you can definitely have fun plays with that. So now let's dive into the level 6s. 3 Baldrake, still keeping this, fun, old, new, budget, type of jazz. Definitely does work great since most of the cards are dark and light. And, just easy for XYZ, Synchro, just beat stick, because 2500, especially with all the different equip cards in here, still is definitely great, especially since, he's very easy to get out, so I can easily beat over something with the equip cards. The 2 Jinzos, we literally run 0 trap cards, so 3 I feel like might be bricky, but at least with 2, you definitely want to see Jinzo, and you don't even really want to use him for anything. You kind of also want to put the equip cards on him, just to keep him going. And then 3 Manticore. The Manticore is honestly such a fun aspect of using the old school cards, but also he's really easy just to spam out and just keep reusing for Synchro, XYZ, Link plays. So yeah, just feel like that would be super fun with him, because I remember when I got him, I was like, oh, I have to use this card. So now diving into the spells. 3 Duality. Just because we do have a bunch of those monsters, Maha and Benkai, where I feel like, what? Let's use this so that way we're forced to not let those go to waste, just because I want to have the old school cards having fun. A Card of Destruction, just because, besides the Beige, sometimes you might have more of a dead hand, and no matter what, even if monsters are in the grave, Baldrake or Manticore have their effects to, be able to summon that. Special Hurricane. This card is just so crazy in a sense, just because I had this so long ago, and it's just funny because obviously nowadays you don't need it because, Raigeki is, a thing, like at 3. But it was just funny where I'm like, you know what, I have to use it. You know, just discard and get rid of all special summon monsters. If Raigeki never, you know, came back, I just feel like this card would have, you know, seen play. Just because, you know, even though, what was that? Not Lightning Vortex. Was it Lightning Vortex? Yeah. So kind of what is like that, but still, with how a lot of decks play, I just feel like this is just like super fun. I don't know. I just like using random cards. 3 Fissure. I wish they were all hollow, but at least I do have a magic one. And then 2 Smashing Ground. The interesting thing about Smashing Ground is I don't know how they would work with link cards, just because, you know, this talks about defense, but they have no defense. So if they only have a link monster on the field, I wonder what the ruling is, because honestly, I don't know, and I don't know if it's ever really come up. So that would be funny if I ever took this to a tournament, even though I doubt it. I doubt I would ever take this to locals, just because even though this is like a fun deck, I just feel like, you know, to put money down to go to a locals just to know, like, there's like zero way this, like, if this randomly did get a win, I'd be mind blown. It would make me wonder what they're even playing. And then 2 Release Restraint Wave. This is honestly a really broken card where I could run 3 of them easily, just because we do have, you know, a bunch of equip cards, but it literally is like a Harpy's Feather Duster. You get rid of 1 of your equip cards, and you destroy all set spell and trap cards your opponent controls. That's crazy. Obviously, you know, Harpy's Feather also, if they have face up, but for just the amount of trap decks there are now, like, that's crazy. Like, honestly, like, I'm shocked there wasn't, like, people trying to abuse this back in the day. I don't know, that's just wild to me, because I feel like there was so many unique cards that had potential, and I feel like that was one of them. One of my favorite equip cards is the Archfiend's Staff of Despair, because most cards you think of, you know, oh, you know, increase attack, or, you know, have them immune to stuff. So again, I just wanted to focus on just the fun ones, focus on attack and defense. But this is just crazy when you think about it, because it says, you know, the attack of your monster. So not the original. So if you put like an Axe of Despair on your Jinzo or whatever, that's 3,400. Half of that, like, at 1,700, like, that's pretty good to automatically, like, shrink whatever monster your opponent has, because besides attacking them in general over them as a 3,400, then you drastically decrease them as well. So, you know, that's pretty awesome, because a lot of monsters kind of tap out at 3k. So 2 Acts of Despair. What is interesting, because again, with this deck, a lot of the monsters you don't really need or care about so much. So you can tribute one and put this back. So if you do have kind of like a dead monster in your hand, or like one that's super weak, you could do that just to, you know, do Baldrake. So it doesn't hurt. 2 Unite We Stand, probably one of my other favorite ones, you know, from the past, just because 800 per face-up monster, like, it's just so easy to, you know, keep getting stronger and stronger. And then only 1 Mage Power, just because I feel like, you know, even if we only just have 1 on the field of it, it's not that great of 500. But yeah, let's dive into the extra deck. So obviously, because you saw before, the 3 Power Tool Braver Dragon, just because I feel like this is such an underappreciated synchro card, and it's just so fun, so gotta have him. And then for the level 8s, Stardust and Hot Red Dragon Archfiend. The Stardust, you know, obviously needs some protection for cards. Is it that great in modern game? No, but, you know, still. And the Hot Dragon, I felt like was just better than the OG Red Dragon. And then for level 6s, we have the Archfiend's Call. I just feel like he's really great, you know, protecting himself. Then Brionic, still to this day, is just such like a fun, easy level 6 synchro, just you know, bounce things back. And now the rank 4s, Abyss Dweller. Even meta decks use Abyss Dweller. Even though it targets, Honor Arc is still fun for non-destruction, and then also Castell for non-destruction also. And then for back row, Tornado Dragon. And then for the rank 6, we have Gauntlet Launcher, just because super basic, super easy. I do have an ultimate one, which is funny enough, so even though I doubt I would ever use this deck, it doesn't hurt if I put it in here. And then obviously we have Nightmare Phoenix, Unicorn, the very simple and basic ones for discard. But then if I want to blow up the field more, I do have Boral Code, and then if I magically get to it, Boral Sword is definitely super, super strong, so can't even imagine him and, being pumped up with equip cards, so that would be super nice and ideal. And yeah, that is the fun deck. So most of all, just remember that, whatever deck you make doesn't need to be meta, doesn't need to be, total garbage casual, but like just have fun with it, because, I feel like that's the whole part of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I don't know, I feel like online I never see people try to be creative with decks anymore. They're too busy trying to be like, oh, this is, gonna get you so many wins, but just think of the old school way of playing on the playground. Obviously you want to win, but you want to have fun with it. You want to have your own flair. So if someone can make Manticore meta, I would love to watch that. I doubt you could, but, just like this deck, there's so much room for improvement, but this is just fun, unique, easy, cheap, budget. And yeah, you'll definitely have fun if that's what I try to tell people, just have your meta decks, but also have a few decks that you can just mess around with. So that's what I do. I try to have, a nice, healthy blend of both. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you later.